Baseball is dead.
Rest in peace.
It is trade deadline eve, and we're sitting here with a couple of sellers and a big buyer. Wow. Just like old times, you know, back on top. We've been doing this podcast since 2017. And, you know, some years, I guess Dallas has joined us at the big kids table, as they call it, where, you know, it's like, maybe you're a buy. Well, even in the years where the A's were good, I don't like, who is their biggest buy? Not like ever. Cause I mean, like John Lester, they bought, but the Red Sox were also kind of buyers, but they stuck that year. What was like the biggest buy for the A's in our podcast era?
That's fair.
Oh, the answer is no one. I was genuinely asking. I wasn't sure if they.
Yeah, no. The answer is nobody.
Yeah, but like it's, you know, obviously they're not going to take on a player of huge salary, but like they've never at the trade deadline added a player that was low salary but a contributor.
No.
All right, Jayhay. Like for the Guardians, I feel like this is a rare position. No, the guards being sellers.
Oh, I'd say it's rare in a couple of ways. Yeah. Sellers, I think your plans being altered mid-season by whatever this current scandal ends up being or problem. Maybe it's not a scandal. Maybe I'm overstepping by saying that, but multiple players have now been sidelined. There's rumors that there's more. I guess we'll see. But yeah, I think that has to impact how they're approaching it. And I believe I said before, I guess after the Ortiz news broke, but definitely before the Clase news broke, that I was hoping that they would be aggressive sellers. I don't see this team as viable in any real way as a threat. And I don't want them, you know, kind of churning their wheels, trying to catch down a superior Tigers team or to eke in as a wild card team to get bounced when I've seen them get bounced as superior teams in short postseasons series. So yeah, no, I was the not to belabor it, but the disappointing part is that I was hoping Clase would be a big part of that sell, and he obviously can't be that now. So we sit back, we wait, but we'll see whether it's Bieber, Kwan, combination of those guys, lesser pieces. But if you're moving Steven Kwan, and specifically, people should not underrate how good of a player he is, and that's more than we're retooling for this season. We're trading one of our core players, and we are pivoting at least in some slight way organizationally. So that would be more interesting in terms of the return for me. But again, we'll wait. But yeah, unique in terms of being probably outright sellers.
So you brought up Clase, and you said the word that you hoped that he would be part of the yard sale for the Cleveland Guardians. But let's say, you know, this scandal didn't occur. What were the odds prior to this that you thought that Clase was going to get moved?
I mean, I thought they were real, maybe not quite 50-50, but I thought that it was in play. I personally believe in Cleveland's ability to rebuild a bullpen, and I think there's enough other spots talent-wise on this roster to maybe take a step back from having what I would consider a luxury item as a high-end closer, and not necessarily impacting my decision-making, but Clase has not exactly delivered in the biggest moments when the team was good or was in a position to be a real threat. So I'm not necessarily emotionally sad to part with him, even if I don't think he's like some sort of bad dude necessarily, pending other information. But it's tough because that's a piece that I think could have returned something more meaningful than any other non-Quan piece is going to be able to return for Cleveland. So again, what sort of deadline do you want to have? What direction is the franchise? What's the expectation next season? And I know nobody thinks about building around Jose Ramirez's prime outside of the city of Cleveland or the state of Ohio, but he's the sort of player that I think you do have to make those sorts of considerations for, or at least have that in the back of your mind while you're making some of these decisions. So lots of things going on here for, as you alluded to, a team that has very rarely dipped into the legitimately bad or really rebuilding territory.
Well, this Clase news hamstrings them for a couple different reasons. One, if you thought you were going to be in a position to try to make any sort of push or consider yourself still a competitive factor in a potential wild card run, well, you're light a starting pitcher, you're light your closer. That puts any team in a very, very tough bind to try to work out from. I don't know that the Guardians were in a position to be able to withstand losing a starting pitcher and losing your all-star closer. Like that's just, I mean, that is a nightmare scenario. Regardless of having Bieber come back and healthy, I don't know that teams are going to be as willing to, I don't want to say take that flyer on Biebs, but they don't necessarily have the luxury of bringing a guy like him and where he's at in his process into the fold and having to be able to depend on him heavily like you do with a healthy, proven arm at this point in time. You would hate to run a player through that meat grinder, and you would also hate to put yourself in a position to sustain another big blow should that move not work out for you. So having no Clase and no Ortiz not only prevent you from trying to compete internally, but also now have compromised your ability to get better because of those guys and what they could potentially fetch. You now are quite literally up shit creek without a paddle, and you got water coming on board as well.
Yeah, and I know we want to move on, but like, you know, from a wider Guardians lens, kind of what I'm hitting at with the Joe Ram and Quan questions is like, I think there's a case to be made that this is probably the most talent poor that the major league roster has been in some time in Cleveland. And like, I don't necessarily look at this team, and even considering the bar that it takes to win the AL Central, which we've talked about a lot, like, I don't really see this as necessarily a 1-year fix. Like, I know it's foolish to like bet against any team turning it around quickly in either of the Centrals because of how fluid all of those situations are, and none of those teams spend at an overwhelming level. But like, I know what the roster is intuitively. I'm looking at it, digesting it again right now holistically, and I just see so many questions on both sides of the baseball proverbially, that like, I just don't know how this, I think the road back to a 90-win team or a 95-win team for any more than a 1-year luck blip is pretty arduous right now, and I'm interested to see how they do it.
Yeah, if Quan is a conversation point, if Quan is a piece, I'm not saying that him and Jose Ramirez are in the same ballpark. That's not what I'm telling you. But why stop at Quan? If we really legitimately believe that they are where they're at right now in terms of competitive balance, is Jose Ramirez enough? If you were to take this roster right now, start clean slate next year, is that roster anywhere near enough to be competitive? And if the answer is no, well, why are we stopping at Steven Kwan? Why aren't we thinking about what Jose Ramirez could also bring you? Could also
good question, Dallas. I thought about this because he's going into his age 33 season next year.
33. He's got what, 4 years left on the deal?
I can check that.
3 or 4 years left on the deal.
Yeah, it runs through 28.
Yeah.
So 3 years after
that's
this
a
one,
club
yeah.
option.
Yeah, I mean, there's a solid chance you could get somebody that is big league ready, as well as folks who are knocking on the door.
He's got a full no trade.
Yeah, so now you got to get Joe Ram to party with you. And who knows? That could be the blessing that the Guardians have working for them, is the fact that Jose Ramirez took a team-friendly deal, does want to be there, and is more than willing, at this point, it looks like, to just allow things to play out naturally as they will, as opposed to standing up and, I don't know that he's calling anybody in the front office going, all right, so what's our plan for the next 2 years here? Like, do we have an idea? What's the forecast? What do our minor leagues look like? Are we going to be aggressive in pursuit of free agents to bolster our rotation? Like, what are we going to be doing? I don't know that he's the guy that's making that kind of phone call with that kind of interest in the future. It does feel at times like he's more than happy to just be Jose Ramirez in Cleveland. And whether that's on a winning team or a team that's going to continue to struggle, he's not necessarily worried about that. He just wants to play baseball, play hard, and win ball games when he can.
Do you think the Yankees picked up the phone just to ask?
Yes, I do.
That's the
I do.
stuff that like I'm always curious about. It's like what's the in between, the stuff that never comes to fruition, the stuff that maybe it was one phone call and then it was just a hard no, like we're not doing it, but still interesting information, I guess, to know. Like, yeah, the Yankees called on Jose Ramirez and they were told absolutely not. We have no interest in moving him, and he has no interest in waiving his no trade clause, something like that.
Yeah, like are they looking at them going, hey, look, Jason Dominguez, the Martian, definitely have it. Is there anything else you like here? Can we have that conversation? I would love to know if those things happen, because I got to believe that this is also a time. Well, I know that this is a time of year where if you're not readily competing for the moment, you still are doing your due diligence to look at what the next couple of years look like for you, what the next few years look like for you. And is there a time where, with all of this going on, that we can, sort of under the surface make a move that people were just not expecting? Just didn't see this coming. I didn't see the Yankees knocking on the door of Cleveland so they could get, but then you step back and you go, well, it would make total sense. Like, why wouldn't they do that, considering the position they're in, considering what they're lacking?
I don't know why it never occurred to me to say this, but in the spirit of the trade deadline being tomorrow, like the tandem of Dallas Braden and Justin Havens as a team's representation, like you have Jayhay's ability to identify and quantify talent via the numbers. You have Dallas's ability to quantify talent via the former player eyeball test, but then Dallas also has the lawyer-like communication and interrogation if it needs to get there, but he can communicate in a way to make you, like, he made me buy him a jersey that he didn't win. So like he has a way to get a conversation to a point where it's like, no, this was your idea that you wanted to trade me Jose Ramirez. I'm just agreeing to it. And then the Cleveland Guardians being like, sure. All right, let's get it done. Connect us to Jayhay and we'll figure out the rest of the details. But yeah, I guess if that was my idea, like you guys would probably make a fantastic, how they have like the lawyers that are just, they're a tandem team. You guys would be a great tandem team to get shit done for a major league franchise, I believe.
We could get you to come up off that wallet. We could talk prospects, and we could get you just to see the light that maybe you're not seeing, and that's all that is, right? Yeah. You want to be brought to the light? We got no problem with that. We can help you.
Yeah, I usually bring people to the light with the Underdog Fantasy app. That's my wheelhouse. Putting money in people's pockets, because Underdog is the easiest place to play fantasy sports. Playing their pick'em game is as simple as just doing what I tell you to do. It's really that simple. You do that more often than not, we'll take you to the promised land. Make sure you sign up with the promo code Jared. That is JARED to get up to $1,000 in bonus cash and a special pick on Underdog. That's Underdog Fantasy promo code Jared. Well, it's a stressful time for people like me who have a team that's going to be buying, or at least rumored to be buying. I also just hate this time of the year. So I've said this a bunch of times. This is my 20th year making baseball content on the internet. And every single year, there's that Christmas morning excitement of, what am I going to get? What's under the tree? There's also that not frustration, I guess annoyance of the mock trades that you see from, I guess, it's good. Fans are excited. They're engaged, but it's just like, none of these make any fucking sense. And now with all the social media platforms, more people have voices that shouldn't all the time. Like, how many fucking mock trades for Paul Skeens do I have to sit through where he's not getting traded? Like, he's not. You don't have, I don't know, you listening right now, I don't know who you're a fan of, but you don't have what it takes to get Paul Skeens right now. You don't. And he's not going anywhere. But I am excited for the live stream that we will be doing from noon Eastern until about 6:15. We'll allow for like those last minute trades to trickle through if they were done just before the deadline, or wink wink just before the deadline. And we'll have some reaction to that. Jayhay is going to be in the house. Jayhay will be here.
Yes, indeed.
In the hornet's nest, they're calling it.
In live from the hornet's nest. By the way,
my protective suit is on its way today. It should be delivered, I believe.
I had the second bug person come yesterday. The feedback was just clean the gutters. All right, that'll do it. There, like the nest could be in the gutter, and that's okay. Well, did you look? That's just an estimation. Okay, all right. So I'll forever live with hornets. Those hornets are not going anywhere.
You are getting robbed blind.
Yep.
By your, I don't want to call it a municipal service because fucking the pest control is not somebody that you're paying tax to. I mean, readily, but it just seems like you are absolutely getting like at this point, I have to believe there's some Truman Show type elevator located around your house. And there's a phone line that is directly linked to this room where all these people are fucking hanging out. And they're like, oh, yeah, it's the pest guy. Hey, I've been over there the last 2 times. We need a new face over
Dallas,
there.
It goes beyond that. It goes beyond that.
It goes beyond.
It does. So
a society set up to fuck me.
Yes. My dishwasher will break. And then I'll call like the, appliance people. They're like, hey, can you fix my dishwasher? They're like, no, we don't service that company. And then I call a plumber and he's like, we don't really do dishwashers. So we don't have the dishwasher working. Then the Ring doorbell stopped working. The guy who installed it, I've told 6 times, the doorbell doesn't work. Can you please come by and fix it? And to the point where I called him the other day and I was like, brother, like I need you to fix the fucking Ring doorbell. And he's like, oh, I'm so sorry. I keep putting you off. He's like, I have a job nearby you tomorrow. He's like, just spam text me and I'll be there tomorrow morning and just spam text me. I fucking spam texted him all day yesterday. Just didn't answer. Posted to his Instagram story. Did not answer my text messages.
Hey, you know what?
No, I'm not done. So then we have mice in the basement. There's mice in the basement. And then I had the pest control people come and check out the house, and they found a cinder block size opening in the foundation. So now this is like we built the house, but we just didn't finish the job. We're like, fuck it, who cares? Like it's not like something broke. Like this is how it was built. Come right on in if you're a mouse. So then now we need them to build this fucking fence. And no fence is being built. So the fucking mice are having an orgy in the basement. Then we have hornets in the bathroom. The hornets call it the first exterminator. He just fucking sprays up there. He's like, I don't know, spraying in the general direction. We're spraying.
Looks good.
Tell him the next day, I'm like, hey, hornets are still in there. I'll be right over. He comes right over, sprays in the general direction again. Cool. Next day, I'm like, there's six hornets in the bathroom, left on red. Hey, so like now they're in the podcast studio. Really gonna need you to come by. Left on red. Call the other exterminator. They come yesterday. Hey, just get your gutters cleaned. All right. All right, yeah. So
I got a number for a great gutter guy. Here you go.
Yeah. I'm gonna have a gutter guy go up there and on the fucking 25-foot ladder to get to the 3rd floor of the house. And surprise, it's a hornet's nest. And now you've fallen 25 feet to the ground. And who's responsible?
No,
me.
He's gonna get there and go, hey, I stopped by earlier, rang the doorbell, nobody answered. So I came back by and I've noticed
exactly.
You got a hornet's nest up there. I'm not going up there until you get that taken care of. So once you get the hornets taken care of, I'd be more than happy to go up and check things out and clean the gutters.
And then Dallas, the AC. So when they did the 3rd floor, they fucking rerouted the ductwork and just broke the house. So there's 2 units. One of them goes to like the bedroom and the media room. That works. But the girls' rooms and the 1st floor with like the kitchen and the living room, No AC. We've never had AC.
You know what happened?
Three different HVAC people have been to this house and been like, it's fixed. Bada boom. Enjoy your AC. And then they leave. No cold air. No cold air coming out of the vents. So everything is wrong with this house. Brand new house. Everything is wrong with it. Not a single professional who is hired to do the one thing that they're supposed to know how to do can do their jobs. None of them. None of them. It's actually insane. Like what I've been dealing with and have not killed myself or someone else.
It sounds like the trade industry is in serious jeopardy in your region. Like they talk about, you know, we're overloaded with software engineers these days. We got fucking 6-year-olds who can code in between naps now.
Yep.
We're losing tradespeople. And I think this is an indictment on that, that very real situation right now. It sounds like what happened is the air conditioning that was keeping your home cool was preventing the mice from getting comfortable to get to a point where they could procreate. So the air conditioning then being rerouted to blow out of your home provided the warm sanctuary that these mice were in need of. And because the builder was nice enough to leave them a fucking highway right to that cozy sanctuary, they're now breeding like rabbits or like mice, Jared, which is even worse. You can do some homework on that. But it sounds like Mother Nature has you on the ropes right now. And you are fucking cut. You're swollen. You're bleeding out of both eyes. It's like Rocky. I'm not sure you can see it until it's too late right now. I'm just going to pray for you, man. Feels like that's really all I can do from here.
Yeah. So needless to say, if the Red Sox don't do anything at the deadline tomorrow,
you'd be all right.
I'm going to be. Let's just say I'm on my last leg here mentally. Yeah.
You got plenty of things to keep you busy. Think about how efficient your offseason could be. Think about how many moves you could be making from the end of August on, Jared.
I'll be making moves. I will be moving my home.
Don't
Somewhere
let the deadline get you down. You'll be all right.
Yeah. So that's been my life for the last few weeks here. So, but I'm excited. I'm excited for that stream. You know, I think woo! You know, I think it's gonna be a good time. We're gonna be talking about some deals. We're gonna be talking about some trades. Hopefully the Sox get something big. They better, Craig. You better.
If we're streaming for 6 hours, we need stuff to happen.
Yeah.
Yeah, like let's send Tyler in the Hornet room.
That's a great idea.
Wow.
Yeah, like if he gets suspended, you just have to go in the Hornet bathroom.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna stipulate. I'm gonna go ahead and stipulate that my appearance is based on no Hornet room appearance, but I am going to laugh about Tyler going in there. Yeah.
Can we lather Milky's areolas up in honey and send him in there shirtless, and let's just see what happens. Let's just see what happens.
That's good stuff. We should do that.
Yeah, it's gonna be great. Yeah, let's take a little trip around the standings here. Let's check back in to see what movement has been going on. I know the Yankees just traded for Austin Slater, and that's massive news. We're definitely going to get to that. But Jayhay, you thought of a new segment here. We're gonna buy, we're gonna sell, or we're gonna stand pat.
That's right.
Because there are 6 teams within a game over 500 to 2 games under 500. Tomorrow's the trade deadline, and we are going to decide whether to buy, whether we are going to sell, or whether we are going to just stand pat. We're not going to do a goddamn thing. Would you like to do the honors?
Sure. I'll kick it off to you guys up here. So we got the Cardinals by record are the best of these teams. They do not have technically the best playoff standing right now, but they are the best record team, 55-54. They are currently 4.5 games out of the wild card in the NL and have a 15.5% chance at making the playoffs per Fangraphs entering play on Wednesday. If you guys are running the Cardinals, what's your reaction? Are you selling? Are you buying? Or are you holding?
You're selling.
Yeah, I'm selling. I don't know that it's a full-scale fire sale. I think I'm revisiting Nolan Arenado trade talks. I know that the Astros have been linked again. He did what? He vetoed the trade to go to Houston before the season started. The Astros are like, hey, what about now? Ryan Helsley, someone that I would probably look to move. I would sell high on Helsley. But like, I don't know that I'm moving Donovan. I feel like that's a dude where it's like, all right, if we move those three, then we're the Marlins now. So you need to keep. Is it fair to say he's their best player?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. So I'm keeping him right there. He's an all-star this year. I understand he's looked at as more of a utility guy, but I mean, that shouldn't be a detriment. It's like, yeah, he's a very good player who can play multiple positions. Like, that's very valuable to us, and we'd love to keep him here for the future.
If anybody calls and asks you about Jordan Walker, what are you saying?
I don't know that I'm like super motivated to sell low. I think I would need something that I like for Jordan Walker. It's like, I'm not just like, oh, like here's a change of scenery guy. What are his numbers up to right now or down to?
Well, it's not great. It's not great.
229. Yeah.
I was going to say he's hitting somewhere around 220, 230. I think there has been absolutely zero power.
A negative WAR.
Yeah, it's not good.
It's much worse than I thought.
The reason that is okay. And so now now that you're informed, let's try this again.
Well, I think I still start the sentiment of like, I don't want to sell low on the guy.
I understand, but now you realize that maybe as excited as you were about some of the packages you could have been getting, now you realize, I've taken a closer look at this, and it looks like, the edges on this card are bent. Maybe the centering on this card is not quite what I thought it was, and there could be a scratch or two on the surface here. So if I send this in for grading, I'm probably not getting a PSA 10 back. I might actually be in the neighborhood of an 8.5. And if that's the case, I need to be open to maybe moving this card under value as much as it might be. But I think that there's still some value I could get if it's packaged properly with something else. And I think that's where Jordan Walker starts to become a realistic conversation point for potential suitors. Is you're looking at what you think is still to come for Jordan Walker, but I mean, there's going to have to be some nudging for the interest.
I feel like as it relates to Jordan Walker, if I'm making that decision, I'm giving him the rest of this season, and then I'm revisiting that conversation in the offseason, because if I'm going to be focusing on the future, I do want to make sure that I'm not making a mistake as it relates to letting, a guy that we had really, really high hopes for, although your guys' read on the stats is obviously right. Like, most things are headed in the wrong way, it seems like, as opposed to the right way. But nevertheless, yeah, soft sell. I'm in agreement. I think the only other thing I'd add is that if I'm in the front office, I'm revisiting what I believe were off-season conversations with Wilson Contreras and Sonny Gray about a willingness to maybe
part ways.
Not aggressively, but I think those are both players that could help other teams, particularly Sonny Gray. And I think if he wants to stick around, fine, but probably worth asking the question. The next two teams on the list, I think, are actually the most interesting teams of the six that we're going to run through, because I don't think they necessarily anticipated being thrown into, our brand new segment. They're probably a little bit embarrassed to be here. They'll have to answer a lot of questions for their fans. Like, oh my God, you were in make a decision, buy, sell, or hold. The Rays 54-54 and the Giants 54-54. The Rays are 3 games back in the wild card with a 15.6% chance. The Giants are 5 games back in the wild card with a 16.5% chance. So kind of take your pick scenario there. I'll let you guys start with whichever side of that you think is more interesting, Rays or Giants, sitting at 500 one day out from the trade deadline.
The Rays are going to sell. And the names that could be on the go, Actually, we've all seen Yandy Diaz out there, but what about Brandon Lau? We've also seen Pete Fairbanks' name out there, but what about Brandon Lau? And I think Taj Bradley was another guy that we saw like, oh, what if they move him? And then they demoted him. You can still trade him, but like you've ultimately taken some of your ammo away or leverage away by demoting him.
Isn't Lau hurt? Is Lau hurt?
He's not playing right now. Yeah, they've got Caballero at second.
Caballero?
Yeah, I think he was still in the mix on trade rumors though, despite the injury, because it's not feared to be serious.
Yeah,
right? It's a Schwarber situation. Schwarber got traded, and he was like, 3 weeks, and I'll be back. Who was it? You, Dallas, that floated the idea of trading McClanahan?
No, but that is a possibility. What, like, when I think about what it's weird when you talk about the Rays and like what direction they could potentially head, because it almost feels like you're just never sure what the Rays are looking to do in terms of building themselves up. Are they building from from an arms race standpoint, and then they're kind of supplement themselves offensively? Do they feel like they've got a great lineup that can help compete with a average at best rotation and bullpen force? Like, does the name is Chandler Simpson off limits?
Not off limits, no, but like
Because
feel like
when I think about bullpen help, I think about guys that are able to come in, step right in, and add length to the situation that you have going right now. And we all know how important leverage arms are in the postseason race. How about with the game evolving the way it is a guy like Chandler Simpson somebody that you look at and say, I mean, this is if we can get this skill set to the postseason with us, with what we're willing to do and how we're looking to generate offense, this is a dude who could be extremely valuable for us. Extremely valuable. Contact speed, defense. And if where you're headed in the future here is if we're now at a point where we're starting to entertain some of these foundational names for the Rays as potential, departures, Chandler Simpson a part of that equation? Or does he have to stay?
I'm gonna say no. I'm gonna say that teams will probably not pony up what the Rays would value him at.
And that's fair. But I mean, is there anything else in this lineup that you think that teams are clamoring over? Like Aranda's a non-starter, right?
I would say Caminero and off limits.
Yeah, so I mean, when you really start to look at the Rays, what are they willing to part ways with? Maybe outside of an aging first baseman.
How about the Giants, though?
Sell them.
Are you really? Because, like, I mean, this to me is the most dramatic of all of these conversations, because they just took on a $250 million or whatever is remaining of Rafael Devers' contract that wasn't with the idea that this season wasn't part of the equation. This season was supposed to be a postseason push. I believe I saw they're 13-26 now since acquiring Rafael Devers. I'm not pinning it all on him, obviously.
Well, I think you can.
But, I said a little flippantly, and I really do mean it kind of flippantly, because it's not a genuine sentiment totally, but I do feel like the conversation about the Giants would be a little bit different if there wasn't this Buster Posey grace period going on, because everything about this team is basic. It screams the same sort of mediocrity that every recent edition of the Giants has screamed. And Matt Chapman and retaining him, I think is certainly looking like an excellent transactional decision right now. But Willy Adames, I don't think is off to the greatest start. The Rafael Devers thing, I think as of right now, is way too early to judge, but has not returned wins and losses. And I personally like that Buster Posey. This is not an anti-Buster Posey thing. I just feel like people have been a little delayed, and maybe it's because they've been so bad so recently with just how mediocre this Giants team has really ended up being through 100+ games entering the trade, like the day before the trade deadline.
And it's been because the offense has not been great. I mean, the bullpen hasn't been great either. They haven't gotten much help outside of the first fucking 3 arms that they're trotting out in that rotation. Because outside of Logan Webb and Robbie Ray and Landon Roop, I mean, Verlander, let's be real. Verlander just won his first fucking game of the season.
It's not a run support thing either. It's like you look at the Savant page and it's chilly.
No, it's not. You're absolutely right. It is frosty.
It's frosty.
That's where they would need help. And I think that's clear and obvious, right? I mean, that's where they're going to need help. So are they someone that's in the market to go and get a starting pitcher right now with the commitments that they have here recently? You have to. If you're going to buy, that's where you're buying. And if you're Buster Posey, who has, I think, shown that he is more than willing to try to bolster the team in areas of need, well, then that's where you got to go. That's where you got to go. So I guess my answer is they should be buying. Do I think they will? No.
See, I don't know that I agree. I think the Rafael Devers trade kind of forces them to have to continue to commit,
to compete,
and they're a veteran team where you don't sign Willy Adames to that contract in the offseason and then trade for Rafael Devers and take on that whole contract to then sell. I mean, it's not like they're 9 games under. They're exactly 500. They've lost 5 straight games. So it's, a week ago, we're talking about a fringe winning ball club. I don't think that a 5-game losing streak should force you to have to sell. Like, let's just say prior to that, 5 games above 500, and look at the roster the way that it's constructed. Like, they're not like I'm trying to think of a team where, I mean, like the Yankees, for example. If Judge goes down and he's down for the year, then it's like, yeah, season's over. You should probably start selling some valuable pieces. But the Giants, they're just constructed in a way where I don't know where the upgrade comes from. Maybe it is that starting pitcher spot, Dallas, because
it has to be.
I don't believe in Verlander, but I mean, like a Robbie. How many fucking teams in the league right now are sitting there thinking, like, if we had Robbie Ray and Logan Webb as our 1-2, like, we're going to the playoffs, like, we're good to go. You already have that. So whether it's your number 3 and like, is there something, because offensively, the Giants teams have never had their success in the regular season or the postseason built on the backs of their offense, but they can pitch. So yeah, go get a fucking arm and see what happens. I'm not selling if I'm the Giants.
No, and that's where that's where they're at is yeah. Hold on, I was trying to think, because I did just say that I believe that they should be buying, but I don't think they will. Yeah. You look at, I think it's just as easy as, I mean, I think it really is just as easy as looking at the numbers and you understanding this is a team that within their first 3 guys on the mound, you got a great shot to win those ball games. With what their bullpen is capable of, you have a great shot to win those ball games. You're talking about the bullpen with the second best ERA in the fucking game. Like, they're solid. It's a solid fucking group down there. But you don't have any offense to supplement it. And you don't have, outside of the first 3 guys in the rotation, any help there. And we're talking about getting into the postseason right now. So you need help getting there. Not what are we going to look like once we're there, but you need help getting there. So wouldn't it be nice to plug in a fucking Sonny Gray into that rotation? That'd be fantastic. That would be fantastic. That would change things considerably for the San Francisco Giants. Considerably.
I can't really argue with anything you guys said. I just do find it interesting that we're all acknowledging how fucking dumpy the Giants offense is. And it's like, but we got to get them a pitcher. And like, I know what the formula has been in San Francisco when the teams won the World Series. And I know how unspectacular some of those offenses were. To me, this offense is kind of dire in a way that those offenses maybe weren't, or at least weren't in hindsight, I guess. And maybe this team can turn it on in a similar way. But like, to me, this is a languishing offense and has a lot of, even if we kind of mentally build in that Rafael Devers and Willy Adames are going to be better than they have been to this point as Giants. Like, to me, there's so many issues all over this roster in terms of like zeros basically offensively, or close to zeros for their offensive slot where they play. Like, Patrick Bailey is almost an offensive zero unless he hits a home run. But like Wilmer Flores, like I'm sorry, like I'm kind of, if I'm a Giants fan, I feel like I'm good on the Wilmer Flores is getting all of these sorts of at bats for us sort of thing. And like I know left-handed power, all that sort of stuff, but like why isn't this team a fit for a Ryan O'Hearn? Can somebody explain that to me? Like why he wouldn't make this team a lot better?
No, but here's the thing, Jayhay.
Haven't the numbers not been good though since like whatever it is, like June 1st?
But like
not been great late.
Okay,
but Jayhay, okay, so Ryan O'Hearn,
yeah.
But Ryan O'Hearn, and it's Ryan O'Hearn because Ryan O'Hearn does not help. No, and so my question that I was going to pose is there any combination of players that are available, and we don't have the list of players that are readily available because you got to call and find out. But is there, I mean, I just don't know that there's an offensive combination of players in pursuit that you can plug in for the San Francisco Giants that makes sense to them without them having to come up off of some ridiculous prospect package to bolster their offense at this point. So that's why I think they are probably better served to continue to trend in the direction of run prevention outside of run production.
Yeah.
Because what's available for them in terms of run production is just not there. They are much better served trying to figure out how to keep their opponent off the board.
Almost reminds me of the conversation we had about the Mariners at a similar time last year. About, is it worth throwing more money, more assets, more, kind of stuff at the offense when we're also down on it. The Guardians are 53 and 54. They're 3.5 out of the wild card and 12.6% to make the playoffs. We kind of already had this conversation, so I think we can move it right along. The Royals 53 and 55. What? Sorry, do you have something to add to the Guards?
The Ryan O'Hearn nugget. Since June 1st, he's hitting 223 with a 627 OPS over 163 plate appearances, just 3 home runs over that 45 game sample.
Well, I'm certainly not going to tell you that that's good, but I will say that that's not far off from Wilmer Flores' overall season line. Not quite as good, but not far off. The Royals 53 and 55. I wanted to ask you guys, we were talking about like Jared had that like behind the scenes, like how does this sort of work sort of thing question earlier. I was thinking about this and this might be dumb, but do you think it ever happens where a team is negotiating like in good faith, no problems or whatever with a person, let's call him Meth Tugo. Okay. And you're going along and the idea is that you're keeping him as an asset for a push this season and also securing him beyond this season so that that's settled. And then over the course of those negotiations, as they're ramping up, let's say a piss Lubitsch, his shoulder injury is significantly more like the news you get keeps getting worse, or the sentiment you get keeps getting worse about how serious that's going to be for him. And by the time that you get to pen to paper time on Seth Lugo, it's basically announcing, or that Chris Bubich is out for the remainder of the season. And this idea that you are going to push forth.
Piss.
Yeah, I was going to say.
The idea that you were going to push forth this season like, I'm not saying that they didn't know that Chris Bubich was hurt or whatever during the set, but do you ever think there was a point where they were like, well, if we had known the full extent of this, we might have actually traded Seth Lugo instead, but we're so far down the line on the specifics of this negotiation that would actually be like kind of bad faith to pull out at this point. So we're just going to move forward and say that was like, I know I'm probably overthinking it, but the timing of that felt not ideal for what was supposed to be a 2025 season push.
Wouldn't the extension make him more valuable in regards to a trade?
You could also argue that.
Yeah. Like, I feel like that's what people want is the cost controlled starters. I don't know if there's no trade language in there. Has it officially been signed? Do we know?
I think so.
Like, I know that has the team announced it?
Yes.
No,
there's an MLB.com article, finalizes 2-year extension. He fell in love with the city. That doesn't sound like somebody who's going to be flipped after signing the deal. I don't think.
I don't see any trade language in here. Okay. So,
I don't give a shit that you
2 years, 46
restaurant.
million plus a 2028 club option, sign extension on the 28th, $3 million signing bonus, $20 million next year, $20 million in 2027, 2028, $17 million club option, $3 million buyout. The 2028 option is guaranteed at $20 million with 190 innings pitched in 2027 or 335 innings combined between 2026 and 2027. So there's no trade language in his deal as far as what's publicly available. So, I mean, not to say like I doubt the Royals are going to sign him to an extension and trade him, but they can if they want to.
And let's remember with the trend that we have seen and with what players have been more than forthright about telling us is a lot of the offers during free agency not only come in right around the same time, but also, intriguingly enough, come in right around the same dollar value as well. So if this is a team being able to work through a deal and get it done, I don't know how many other teams are looking at this deal going, well, I didn't think we could be, I don't know about that. They're probably looking at that deal going, okay, all right, probably in line with what we would do if we were in that position or somewhere close to that. Let's see how we can make this deal feasible for us. Is there something here? And so just because, to your question, Jayhay, Seth Lugo has signed the deal and has fallen in love with the city, well, fantastic. I'm glad you have your favorite opera house to go to now. That doesn't absolve you from being a candidate to move and help us get better if it's not going to be this year.
Was there another team? Because if you're the Royals, have we decided like, is this buy, sell, or stay?
For the Royals?
I mean, they bought Grichuk, right?
Yeah, like I feel like, yeah, like the Royals to me feel like a team that's too stubborn to sell.
Well, who were you? I mean, like from a lineup perspective, who would you be parting ways with that is bringing you anything of viability?
I mean, me personally, I'd be knocking on their door for Vinny P. Like I wouldn't mind Vinny P over here for the foreseeable future.
But then that immediately tells Jack, all right, buddy, time is now.
Correct. Yeah. Yeah. And I guess like let's just say, for the sake of argument here, if they did trade him, then they might not even view that as a sell. That's like we're freeing up the first base position for Caglione.
Yeah, I think there's probably got to be a little more adjusting that you need to see from Cags before you just hand.
Well, I mean, let's just say that the Royals have acknowledged that they're not contending this year, wouldn't it be the perfect opportunity to clear the way for him so you can just be over there?
Yeah, but that's the whole thing is we're probably a little too close to just and I hate to say it this way, but we're probably a little too close to commit to an 8-man lineup at this point. Because if you're penciling in Caglione every single day from here on out, up until he starts to turn things around and get comfortable, that's what you have readily done, is turned it into an 8-man lineup just because of how extensive his struggles have been.
To me, like, first of all, I'm buying or at least holding if I'm the Royals. I feel like they're committed and moving forward. But to me, like, I understand like where trading Vinny P could make sense depending on what you're getting back. But this lineup is so atrocious outside of Bobby Witt and basically Vinny that and Garcia's had his moments or whatever. I'm not saying they're literally the only people, but on the whole, the offense is so bad that I just don't think you can be actively trading away current contributors if your plan is simultaneously to try and win ball games in the immediate. Because I don't think they have anywhere to go offensively. Like, I think they have already fallen through the bottom of what you can be and be a serious contender. They need to push forward offensively, not take a step back to improve other areas of the team or like the team as a whole in 4 or 5 different spots, in my opinion. Angels, anybody convinced they should be buying yet? 53 and 55, 4 games back in the wild card, same as the Royals. Their postseason odds per Fangraphs are half of what the Royals are, actually less than 5.1%, lowest of any team that we've discussed so far. Any movement on the Royals from this panel?
If you can sell the big A out in front of the ballpark, sell that thing too.
I think Joe Adell would be a very interesting trade piece. I think they missed the boat on cashing in on Rengifo. Like, Rengifo mania, like that, they could have really gotten a nice little haul for Rengifo a couple of years ago. But that I believe that was when they decided to buy, and for like a couple of weeks, they were buyers for a couple of weeks.
Why not Kikuchi?
Yeah,
Move
I mean,
that's an arm. Move him.
Yeah, but how many years of control does he have?
3, I think.
Yeah, I feel like they're like, well, we're at least in the mix this year, and he's a kind of a big reason why.
Look, here's something else, and I fucking hate to even say this, man, but you have to factor in what front offices probably already know, and they just can't say it publicly yet. Is when you're starting to think about bringing on money, taking on contracts, taking on deals, developing prospects in the window, blah, 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 blah. We're about to have a window of time, essentially a year, removed from these discussions. So 3 years of control for a guy like Kikuchi, but are you going to see him in 2027? Is it really going to matter? Or are you probably spending money for 2026 and then hopefully 2028? You have no idea what 2027 brings. That's something else that I am trying to keep in mind, and also not let completely ruin the fun that we can have with having these conversations, and just reminding folks, hey, while we start to look at what the next few years could look like when we start to have these discussions about player acquisition and player movement, our world right now, and it's very real, consists of the strong likelihood of an entire season going away in the very, very near future. So we're talking about, future impact in a window of players and the controllability. That's something we have to consider. Just a reminder. I don't like it any more than you guys do.
I think when we're talking about, out of all the teams that we've discussed in this segment, the only team to me that I question whether or not they have the wherewithal to recognize the situation that they're in and how to handle it properly, the only team is the Angels. Like, I could see them being like, you know what, Ryan Pepio, come on down, like just making an addition that makes them marginally better, but still nowhere near a playoff team. Like, that's Angel baseball.
Because that's kind of how they do it, right? They needed, like we have talked about so many times, they needed help on the mound. They went and signed Anthony Rendon, who absolutely hates fucking baseball. And that was not a winner of a deal for them. there's nothing that tells me that the Angels should be buying and consider themselves competitive right
No, but like, I don't know, man. Like, I just think like they're going to trade for someone that they think is going to make them better this year. That's what they're gonna do. Oh man. Anyways,
now. It would be ill-advised.
yeah. Is that it for all the teams?
I think so.
That's it.
Whew. They got a 5.1 chance of making the playoffs. So they're going to be like, well, it's not zero. So
Not
let's
zero.
make a deal. Let's make a deal. I actually had to kick Ace out of the podcast studio. He was being a little asshole, but that doesn't mean I don't love him. We all love our dogs. And if you love your dog, you got to love their diet. You got to do what's necessary to keep our beautiful, beautiful dogs nice and healthy. And that's why Dr. Dennis Black created Rough Greens. Here's the good news. With thousands of testimonials and 5-star reviews every month, Rough Greens is now the #1 all-natural dog supplement in America. They have helped millions of pups like mine stay active and be healthy, and your pup could be next. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. Fetch a free Jumpstart trial bag for your dog today. You cover the shipping. Go to roughgreens.com and use the promo code BID. That's RUFF greens.com. Promo code BID. You don't have to change your dog's food to improve your dog's health. Just add a scoop of Rough Greens. Okay. We talked about the fringe teams. Let's talk about the teams, the big dogs. The big dogs that have been doing big things recently. I saw John Heyman, actually.
I can't even believe it.
Thank you,
I can't
John.
even believe it.
He said that the Milwaukee Brewers are the best team in baseball. They've taken the first 2 games from the Cubs in this series. Where are we at on that? Like, what's the temperature of that take? Is that an extremely hot take? Is it a lukewarm take? I don't think any of us here are going to sit here and call the Milwaukee Brewers the best team in baseball, but I think we were kind of ahead of the Brewers trendiness of saying, hey, look out for the Brewers. I think we were kind of ahead of that. No?
Yeah, we were on notice. There's no doubt about that. We were on notice as far as the best team in baseball.
Who is
I
the
think that's
best
a
team
little
in baseball, Dallas?
I think that's a little strong.
Isn't it a good thing that you have to think about it? Isn't it a good thing that it's
a great
in
thing
spring
that we
training? In spring training, if I asked you, hey, the day before the trade deadline, I'm going to ask you who the best team in baseball is, and you would have been like, you mean besides the Dodgers? That's what you probably would have said. The fact that it's not, bam, snap your fingers, it's the Dodgers, that's a good thing.
Well, but isn't it that way simply because of what the Dodgers are dealing with from a health perspective?
Yeah, this is not like a putting the Dodgers down thing. I'm saying it's a good thing that it's not just automatically the team that made all the moves, the team that spent all the money. That's not the best team in baseball right now. They're in the conversation for it based on the talent and on paper, the names on paper, sure. But July 30th, trade deadline's tomorrow. Who is the best team in baseball? I think the takeaway is you have to think about it.
Yeah. It's not just set in stone. There's not that clear cut, this is it, no questions asked, the rest of the field type of scenario. No, there are teams. I mean, you go up and down the divisions. I think it's understood that there's going to be teams that aren't going to be making any noise. Teams that are not, but the AL West, the Houston Astros doing what they're doing. Are they the best team in baseball?
Fuck no.
Not.
The best team in baseball is in the NL Central. Fair or unfair?
I'm going to say unfair.
Jayhay, the best team in baseball is in the NL Central. Fair or unfair?
I think fair, but wrong.
Then that would be my answer too.
What you mean?
I mean, I think it's
fair.
I think it's a fair
Absolutely
opinion. Yeah.
You think if I said the Cubs or the Brewers are the best team in baseball, it's like, well, you're not wrong, but I think a different team is the best team in baseball.
Correct. That's my response.
Who is the best team in baseball, Jayhay?
I'm going to stick with the Dodgers. always been a diehard Dodgers fan, so I'm going to roll with them.
Yeah, that's true. You've always loved them Doyers. Yeah, I mean, that's not to say that the Dodgers aren't in the conversation. I said that they're still in the conversation, but it is a conversation now. Best record in baseball belongs to the Milwaukee Brewers. And for all the injuries, for all the Clayton Kershaw, I don't want to talk to the media today because of how bad we're playing. For all the scuffling of Mookie Betts, for all the injuries in the rotation, the Dodgers are a game and a half out of the best record in baseball. It seems like there's this dark cloud hovering over the Los Angeles Dodgers in 2025. How many fucking fan bases would be like, I would love to have that Dodgers dark cloud hanging over my team if at the end of the day I look up and we're a game and a half back of the team with the best record in baseball.
And it's because I think that the Dodgers are in such a position where they've been able to at times just outbludgeon their opponent, and that has worked, that has paid off, even with some of the question marks they have on the pitching side of things. And that's a luxury that, I mean, we were just talking about the Giants and what their best path is to being competitive. And it has nothing to do with them scoring runs. It has everything to do with them maybe preventing runs because that's their best weapon. And supplementing what they do offensively might just be a fool's errand because it's not going to be anywhere near enough to compete with a team like the Dodgers if you're trying to go blow for blow. But now if you're talking about being the guy in the fight who can bob and weave, rope a dope, and maybe point you by the end of this fight and come out on the card as opposed to delivering the knockout blow, well then, okay.
Well, either way, the Milwaukee Brewers are one of, I believe, two teams? One of two teams to have a run differential that is plus 100 or better. It's them and the Cubs. The Yankees not far behind at plus 95. Yeah, I don't know. I just, if you're a Brewers fan, I feel like how many years have you been looking up at the Cubs in the division standings? How many years have you lost out on that big free agent to the big market teams? And I would consider the Brewers to be like a middle market. They're not small market to me. They're a middle market team. No, they're not always spending a ton of cash, but they're not broke. The Christian Yelich contract, like that, they'll spend if they have to. And it's not like it's not like they've been starved of stars over the years. Like they've had their fair share of star players, whereas like the broke ass teams, they just don't have those guys. So I want to make sure that the Brewers get their due while they do have the best record in baseball. I just simply enjoy the fact that it's a conversation. The San Diego Padres have won 4 straight games. They were not mentioned, obviously, in the conversation for best team in baseball, but they were also not in the conversation of a team that should buy or sell or stand pat. They are 4 games back of the Dodgers. They are 10 games over 500. They have a modest plus 27 run differential, but if you want to make a run differential conversation, I mean, the Houston Astros, the Dallas just mentioned as being in the conversation for one of the best teams in baseball, they're at plus 41. And that's up from where they were like just even a few days ago. Like they were like plus 34 the other day. So how do we feel about the San Diego Padres and where they fit in the playoff discussion? And is this a team that we see being super active? I know that AJ Preller is obsessed with Jarren Duran. Dude covers himself in baby oil and thinks about Jarren Duran every single night, from what I'm told. But I don't think he's getting Jarren Duran. I don't think anyone's getting Jarren Duran. I don't think Duran's moving. I think he's going to be staying right here in Boston. But the Padres, they're one of those teams where algorithms and data be damned. I feel like there's a lot of teams that they just put a couple players into the machine, and if it doesn't compute, then it's no deal from us. Whereas AJ Preller is the type of guy to be like, I know that like the computer may say it's not a win for us, but fuck it, let's do it. Like I really want the player. Like I feel like he's not going to be silent at this deadline. Do you get the same vibes?
Yeah, but what route I think they're going to go is curious. And I'm not saying that it's not a matter of having an idea of where they should go, because this is another team who, like a very, very good arm in that rotation, I think needs help in that rotation. They got the best fucking bullpen in baseball, it feels like. But also they need help in the starting rotation. Offensively, more than capable, it feels like, more than capable of getting a job done. But who do the San Diego Padres think they are at this point in time in terms of being competitive? Where are they sitting right now?
10 games over. 10 games over, 4 games back of the division.
But in terms of the wild card picture, they have the second spot?
In terms of the wild card position, the San Diego Padres have the 3rd wild card spot. They are 3 games up on the Cincinnati Reds.
Yeah, so this is a team where, I mean, it's almost just an extension of the buyer-seller stand conversation that we were having. Yeah, I think they should be active here. I think they have a chance to close the gap. I really do. Because, I mean, for as much as we want to give the Dodgers credit for what they've been able to do and the storms that they've been able to withstand, there's nothing that says that if the Padres aren't able to hit their stride and get help in areas that they have not had consistent help, that things don't turn around for them or things don't get even better for them. I mean, this is where, when we start to kick shit like this around, this is where strength of schedule and like how many times did the Dodgers have the Padres left, or vice versa, whatever. How many more games do those teams have left with each other?
I don't know that off the top of my head, but I do believe that the Dodgers have the second easiest or second easiest remaining strength of schedule.
They have a 3-game series with the Padres starting on August 15th in LA. And
who do they finish with? Like I always like to think about, because
they
like
finish with the
gap,
Mariners, the D-backs, Mariners, Giants, Phillies.
So hold on.
Giants.
Their last three series consist of 2 division opponents, Giants and D-backs?
No, Seattle. Yeah, Giants, D-backs, Seattle.
Okay. So yeah, 2 out of 3 of those teams are division opponents. Only one of those teams is anybody that you have to worry about.
Well, I think that they'll be active. I mean, the fact that there were reports that they were willing to trade Dylan Cease and their number 2 prospect for
that's what's crazy.
Duran. Yeah. I mean, it's weird. There's something weird going on there, because originally it was reported that the Padres were like, we'll give you Dylan Cease and Salas for Duran. And then it was refuted by a Boston reporter who then retracted that from his report, but never reported that he had retracted that. So it's very odd. It's like, it's hard to tell. Like, is that real? Is it not real? We don't know.
Can I just throw something out there as it relates to the Cease Duran conversation, or
yeah,
like, what is Dylan Cease's value though? Like, because I feel like there's this lingering idea of him as maybe not a true frontline, but like, a rock solid, dynamic number 2 starting pitcher that's going to pitch important innings for you in a postseason game if you're acquiring him as a contender. And that may prove to be true if that happens. Who's to say, really? But we're talking about a guy who is a free agent at the end of this season, I believe, and who is now at a 4.20 ERA over 88 starts since the beginning of the 23 season. So we really only have 1 season of Dylan Cease true ace, and I think you could call last season a version of that sort of performance, if a cut below. But I just don't know. Like, if I'm the Red Sox and I'm receiving a phone call and the offer is Cease and Salas for Jarren Duran, I think I'm also hanging up the phone, or I'm also politely declining, because there are questions about Ethan Salas at this point. I think enough to poke some holes in him as a prospect.
Big questions.
Yeah.
He has not hit at all at any level.
Big questions.
Yeah. So
I'll be honest. Oh, go ahead. Go.
Yeah,
No, I was just going to talk about seeing him at the Fall Star break, Fall Star, and just what I saw, like from a defensive perspective. That'll play. He's there. He could probably contribute today. but offensively it looked overmatched. And that's with like same level competition type stuff that he just looked overmatched. That's a very small sample size. But the the reports that I have gotten and the conversations that I've had, is that there is the steps forward that were needing to be taken or that you hoped would have been taken are not being taken.
Heyman just said the Yohan Duran market is heating up as well.
I mean, I can see that. For the Padres, though, what do you got?
This other report here says Carlos Correa will only waive his no-trade clause for the Astros.
Back to Houston, yeah.
Like, just him being like, man, I fucking miss being in Houston. Like, if only the Astros had given me all the money that Minnesota was dumb enough to give me.
And, hey, circle back. Why not? You think Carlos Correa can't just fit right back into that mold there? I mean, you got to believe that his level of comfort and
Didn't we just get an update on Mr. Pena? He could rejoin the Astros on Friday.
I mean, if that's the case, then see ya.
Also, good luck to anybody trying to pin down what you're going to get from Carlos Correa in any given season or month or playoff series or whatever. Because, he's been bad this year. He was awesome last year in limited time. He was bad the year before that. He was awesome the 2 seasons before that. So, I don't know.
Let me say this. I'll say this about the Padres, too. Dylan Cease, in their situation right now, isn't Dylan Cease an arm that they absolutely need to keep? Because if he moves on,
if they're going for it,
who are you bringing in that gives you the same level of confidence?
They don't have that guy
to do what you think he could do. So that's that. Like I just, if you think you're a contender and right now you're in the third fucking wild card spot, you're very much a contender. I don't see how that can be a real pathway to maintaining your competitiveness.
I mean, I hear you. I can also see, if you're taking the pessimistic angle on who Cease is, let's say you take the extreme end of what I was just talking about and he's a 4+, kind of number 3, number 4 starter. I think you could then make the argument, well, we have 2 people better than that in-house at the very least. We have a returning Michael King, who I understand is currently not pitching, but will be back eventually, and Nick Pivetta, who, unsexy for sure. Do I want him pitching the biggest games for me? Probably not. He has been fucking better than Dylan Cease, straight up. And this season, and it's not a small-ish sample at this point. So
it's not even close.
No, you would want Dylan Cease along with those guys and maybe pitching over those guys in certain scenarios. But if you're also looking at the whole landscape being like, my offense needs real help, I could use another bullpen arm here, despite how good it has been so far. We've taxed them quite a bit. I need another one. I need 3 or 4 spots here. I can get down with that. I just if I'm on the other side and I have a controllable Jarren Duran, I'm not interested in a Dylan Cease at the back end of his walk year and a potentially very flawed catching prospect.
Yeah, I have no interest there. I just think, you move Cease, and now you're looking at Pivetta, Vasquez, and who? So the Braves are acquiring Tyler Kinley. Tyler Kinley
huge.
from the Rockies.
I'm gonna go ahead and eat some more. If you're Tyler Kinley, though, you're
fuck yes.
What else was there that was important to get to today?
Did we I'm trying to remember.
We didn't do Acuña.
In the walking boot?
Yeah, not good.
No, not great at all. Not great at all. Do we have a report on what happened? Because when did that come across? Last night or this morning?
Last night, yeah. Do we know, Jayhay?
Like when the Achilles inflammation occurred?
Yeah. Well, I mean, he started the game and came out of the game. But like, was there a thing that happened?
Yeah. That triggered it? No, I think he was. No, I also didn't see any of that. Oh, initially felt discomfort when he scored from. Oh, but that's the initial thing on Monday night.
Yeah.
He lobbied to play on Tuesday. Yeah, it sounds like it was drew attention. No, the answer is no, which is what I thought was before. But I mean, there's speculation, I guess. Mark Bowman had the first sign of Acuña showing discomfort on the Witt single.
He
and then
said it happened when I
followed
scored
on
from
the double.
first to home on that play. Acuña said through an interpreter, "They're going to examine me tomorrow, so we'll see how it goes." Yeah. The discomfort returned after Acuña ran for a foul ball in the 6th inning. Later in the inning, a ball was hit over his head, and he gave chase. He left the game after the 6th. It was hurting even more, Acuña said. I was kind of out there hoping that they wouldn't hit it my way, and of course, anytime you do that, they always hit it your way. Acuña said the pain was worse than it was on Monday. Quote, I told them yesterday, and everyone said, take the day if you want it. You can have the day off, Acuña said. I've missed so much time already through injuries. I didn't want to miss any more time. It's an injury. I'm worried. It's more pain, but it feels kind of like I feel a lot when I try to put pressure on it. And then Snit said it's going to be a while. So.
That's brutal.
Yeah. It's an Achilles thing. It's going to take a while.
Yeah. That is,
if you're the Braves and you've already looked at the injury history of Ronald Acuña Jr., I mean, it's what, 2 ACL tears, and now you're dealing. It's not an Achilles tear, but I mean, that thing, it snaps. It fucking rolls up your calf. It's a whole to do. Are you shutting him down for the season, given how things have gone for the Braves?
What benefit do you have from Ronald Acuña Jr. taking 2 weeks off at this point to get a feel for how it is going, and then starting any sort of ramp up?
I don't know that there's anything you can do if it's not torn, though. If it's just sore and there's no tear, I don't think that there's anything surgically you can do. It's almost better if it is fucking torn, because then you can just repair it and then go from there.
The idea of being able to rest and recover and potentially administer some healing treatments, that's always an option. And in my mind, that's always a better option than doing nothing. And then even one step further than that, allowing the player to continue to perform because there's nothing more he can do to the injury like that. I don't know. It's already a compromised lower half. I would just think twice about letting him continue to go down the same path and not really giving any thought to, like, I'm not trying to be their medical staff, but PRP injections, like, what do we need to do? Like, is this a matter of him going to Germany so he can get some stem cell? Like, what do we got to do? But we're doing that. We're not going to have Ronnie try to run his way through fucking August and September for no reason.
It sucks. Sucks.
Yeah,
I don't think we're going to look back on his career and be like, what could have been? I mean, it's already to this point been like a fascinating tale, like the 40-70. But just the fact that the Braves, when they won the World Series, he was not a part of it at all. They won it while he was in the organization, but they won the World Series without him. It's just the incidents with getting benched for certain things and like, calling out his man who's been his manager the whole time. It's just, I don't know. It's complicated. Like if Ronald Acuña Jr. got traded this offseason, would the adjective we use to describe his Braves tenure / legacy be complicated?
Yeah, I think that's a fair way to categorize it. I mean, it would, interesting how, because I'm always the one who was bringing that up. Like, hey, let's not forget that the guy that you had to have, the guy that you must build around, the guy that is hands off completely in any sort of conversation when it comes to this time of year. That guy was not there for the push. That guy didn't help you win the World Series.
Yeah.
He was not a part of that. So just a gentle reminder.
Yeah. Really quickly, RIP to the Rich Hill era in Kansas City. It was a beautiful one. It was a meaningful one to me, to us, but it has come to a close. I feel like every time, like at least at this point of his career, Rich Hill will pitch and then promptly get DFA'd, and you want to have that, man, what a career. If this is the end, what a career. But it's like, I'm not doing that. Like he will inevitably sign with the St. Louis Cardinals, or someone will give him a flyer, if not just for the value that it is to have somebody eat innings for you. He'll do it. So I'm not going to give his career eulogy just yet. I'm leaving the door wide open for him to pitch more big league innings before this thing is said and done, spoken for.
Just thank you for your continued service.
Yeah. Are there any other stories that you guys were itching to get to? Chris Paddock to the Tigers. I don't know how much that helps him. I love Paddock. This feels like another eat inning situation.
For Paddock?
Yeah.
Yep.
Jay, you see it differently?
No, I see it exactly that way, but I think that has value for them.
It has,
given some of the blows they've taken in the rotation, the fact that we're not going to dive into it, but Olsen is now on the 60-day. He's not coming back. So, yeah, I mean, is he going to throw important innings for them in the postseason? Probably not. Maybe, probably not. But they still have to get there, and probably don't want to overtax some of these other guys that will bump up against innings considerations and stuff like that. And he's more than serviceable. I like it.
Yeah. Casey Mize just got his ass kicked. Not saying that there's
Ryan O'Hearn just homered, as we talked about how awful he's been since June 1st and hasn't hit any home runs. He just hit a home run right now. Wow. Baseball. So poetic, so beautiful. Jayhay, any other stories that we would be assholes for not covering today?
Oh, I'm sure Reddit or Discord will be all over the stories that we missed that make us assholes. But
yeah,
we are going to be live streaming and I believe podcasting afterwards tomorrow, right? So, certainly potential to do some cleanup work there. Luis Heel set to make his season debut on Sunday. Call that out. I thought the Sir Anthony Dominguez acquisition was kind of fun. I mean,
awesome.
Yeah, getting traded in amidst a doubleheader and kind of trotting on over. That was cool. I believe with the way that Canada runs things too, this sets up the possibility of a Sir Anthony Dominguez too, right?
Yeah. So also, since we started the podcast recording, Mark Feinzen tweeted the market for Eugenio Suarez's it's beginning to shape up with less than 30 hours until the trade deadline. Per sources, the Mariners, Cubs, Tigers, and Phillies are considered the primary teams in the race for the all-star third baseman. So kind of just like interesting to note that, after getting hit on the hand, the teams are like, fuck it. Like we don't need, if you were one of these teams, if you were the Cubs, Tigers, Phillies, Mariners, do you want to see him hit before you give up assets for him?
I mean, fuck. Do I? Yes.
And if you're the D-backs, do you risk it?
Do I risk running him out there as to to show him, to quote unquote show him off? And
yeah, like what if he just goes out for a round of BP and he's like, fuck.
Well, no. So this is where it's almost like the NFL Combine. Am I hurting myself by going to this and putting my measurables on display, or am I better served just kind of letting you get creative and think about how I can help your team? Like, you know what I'm capable of. I've showed you what I'm capable of. I have a track record. If you're that worried about this one hit by pitch affecting me over the next 2 months, well, all I can tell you is I feel good and I'm healthy. So do with that what you will. But if you think that I need to go out and play 2 more games to show you that I'm healthy. Well, I don't know if that's going to happen. that's a kind of a, I mean, I don't want to say it's a dirty pool by the D-backs if that's the case, but I mean, it does. It makes
it's not their fault, man. Like when they started the season, the D-backs were not thinking that they would be in this position. They did not think that Corbin Burnes would be down for the year. They did not think that they would be in a situation where they're dealing with a losing record at the trade deadline. Not that it all falls on Corbin Burnes, but yeah, I don't think that they envisioned having this fire sale. But now that we're here, of course they want to capitalize on it. Yeah, we'll see where someone like Merrill Kelly, Zach Gallen, Eugenio Suarez, they're probably all gone, all 3 of them. So yeah, the D-backs will be quite the hotbed to pay attention to for our live stream tomorrow, noon Eastern, until we're calling it a little bit after the 6 p.m. deadline. Jayhay will be in the house. I think Tyler will show up later. Coley said he'll be there. Steve will be there. Mikey, Jake, you gonna be there? Wouldn't miss it for the world, he said. Wouldn't miss it for the world. So, yeah, no, it'll be fun. There'll actually be, at one point, there'll be a streamception. I'm gonna try because I think I'm doing a hit with MLB Network while we're streaming. So I'm gonna try to have that happen, kind of how like we did in St. Louis, where we were live streaming and then we kind of streamed into MLB Network. If we had our stream on the big net, that'd be nice. That'd be a nice way to get some people to come over and check us out as well.
That's right. Be big for the network too.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. You're welcome.
You're welcome. Dallas will be, I know it's an A's off day. That's usually when he goes to another planet, but I don't know what time slot. Would love to have you be a part of it if possible.
Yeah. I'm just you're not the only one dealing with homeowner responsibilities.
Oh, what do you got going on?
I may have. Oh, I'm not our home base, but we may have a home that has the foundation compromised, and so I've got an individual who's going to be coming over and checking some foundational issues, and who knows, I might get to do a foundation repair on a home, Jared. You know how much fun those are? Those are
it's
so
amazing.
much fun.
Becoming an adult. It's fun. It's fun.
Yeah.
It's a good time.
No Hornets though, so I'm good.
Yeah, I gotta check the Hornet room after I'm done with the pod. Luckily, no Hornets during the recording of this podcast. That was scary. That was the first time that a Hornet has been in my recording space. So all that means is that they're able to travel through the ceiling, through the light fixtures. So yeah, we love that. Also, final thought, I know we're going to get to some Nugs as well, but rest in peace, Ryan Sandberg, absolute legend with the Cubs. Jayhay, do you have any Ryan Sandberg Nugs as part of your award-winning Nug segment?
I did not do any. I was just going to let those speak for them, or Sandberg speak for himself. But if anybody else has any Nugs that they wanted to share on Sandberg, obviously an all-timer.
A Hall of Famer, 10-time All-Star, won an MVP, won a home run derby, 9-time Gold Glove Award winner, 7-time Silver Slugger. This man was a staple in the game, over 2,000 hits, career wins above replacement, that more deserving of his Hall of Fame candidacy. The MVP coming in 1984 when he was just 24 years old, led the league in wins above replacement, 8.5, scored 114 runs, led the league in triples with 19. And I believe all of his all-star selections, his 10 all-star selections were consecutive.
Yes,
so this was a man that just said, this
gloves.
is the decade of Ryan Sandberg. Took over for a decade and then ended up in Cooperstown. One of the outside of his debut, his rookie season as a 21-year-old with Philly, from that point forward, played all of his big league seasons with the Chicago Cubs. A legend in Wrigley forever. Rest in peace to Ryan Sandberg. Some legendary Nuggs from the award-winning Justin Havens.
Yes, much dumber stuff than Ryan Sandberg's great career, but we will honor them anyway. Troy Melton is the second pitcher in Tigers franchise history to have a start of 7+ scoreless against the D-backs. He joins Justin Verlander on June 25th, 2011, and Melton is the only Tigers pitcher to do so with 0 walks. So congrats to him on that. Bradley Blaylock, this was 2 nights ago, second pitcher in Rockies franchise history to have a start of 6+ scoreless against Cleveland, joining Herman Marquez on August 8th, 2017. Blaylock is the only Colorado pitcher to do so with 0 walks. Junior Caminero is the 11th player aged 21 or younger to produce a season with 27 or more homers and 70 more RBI in the wild card era, joining A-Rod, Andrew Jones, Albert Pujols, Miggy, Giancarlo Stanton, Mike Trout, Cody Bellinger, Juan Soto, Acuña, and Julio Rodriguez. Chase Burns continues to be an interesting situation over there in Cincinnati, missing a lot of bats, not missing quite as many runs, but he had his third consecutive 10 strikeout or more start. Pitchers aged 22 or younger to have 3 or more consecutive starts in a single season. The entire list: Walter Johnson, Bob Feller, Al Downing, Vida Blue, Fernando Valenzuela, Dwight Gooden, Oliver Perez, and Chase Burns. Burns' ERA over those 3 starts is 5.19. The next worst over that stretch among those pitchers is 3.10. So still got some things to figure out, but some electric stuff, obviously. Rich Hill, happy trails, as we said. He became the 3rd oldest pitcher in MLB history to have a start with 6 or more walks and 2 or more homers allowed. So he got him in while he was there. Phil Niekro in 85 and Nolan Ryan in 92, the only older ones. Jack Kohanowitz is the first Angels pitcher to issue 6 or more walks, but not allow an earned run, since Shohei did so twice in a span of 3 starts in April to May of 2021. Randy Arozarena, first outfielder since Bobby Abreu to produce 5 consecutive 2020 seasons. Abreu, of course, produced 7 such seasons from 1999 to 2005. And then to give credit to 2 other sources, because I liked the stats. OptaStats had some Andrew Vaughn context. Kind of funny how great he's been after just being absolutely terrible during his White Sox career. Only 2 players have put up the following numbers over their first 10 home games with a team since RBI became official in 1920. 475 batting average, a 1,000 or better slugging percentage, and 15 or more RBI. Those players are Andrew Vaughn this season and Barry Bonds with the Giants in 1993. And of course, because I like to give credit where credit is due, I saw this delicious nugget last night floating around, and I wanted to make sure they got credit. This is from Nesson. Players aged 21 or younger with a 385 on base percentage through their first 40 career games since 1995 wildcard era. Fernando Tatis, Juan Soto, Bryce Harper, Jason Hayward, Albert Pujols, and Roman Anthony joined the list. So congratulations to him. That was some really good research. I do love a good nug when I see it. So credit due, and those are the nugs.
Yeah, I saw that stat from Nesson, and that was a good one. That was valuable to me, obviously, as a Red Sox fan, Roman Anthony guy. Yeah, shout out to them for that stat. That was cool.
You can't accuse them of not knowing a good nug when they see it.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. All right, Dallas, final thoughts?
Oh yeah, I got a final thought. Funny little story here I can share with you guys.
Oh yeah.
For those wondering whether or not players are aware of the goings on that occur on our fun podcast here, I had a chit chat with Cal Raleigh during BP, and I may or may not have asked Cal if he was in possession of the 2 baseballs that he stole from Brent Rooker that allowed him to go on to win the home run derby. He provided no comment on that, so there was no admission of guilt, but there was absolutely no denial as well. So you can do with that information what you will. But at the end of our exchange, Cal put his arm around me and said, "Hey, and hang in there, man, because from what I understand, it looks like you owe somebody a jersey, huh?" and then he just fucking walked off. So, dick, Cal, if you're hearing this, you're a dick. Didn't appreciate that. But yeah, that's my final thought. Jayhay is Cal Raleigh is more than well aware of what he has done.
He knows that I'm riding with his magical season. I believe in Cal Raleigh, and congrats to him on his achievement once again, and congrats to me on mine.
Congrats to you, Justin Havens. Yeah, so like it would have been great if like Dallas was coming to the stream, because then he could bring me the 2 jerseys that he owes me that he
could bring so many.
Know. Yeah. So I think what we'll probably do here, which is a mistake on my part, is when you come here on tomorrow for the trade deadline stream, Jayhay, we'll pick out your jersey. I'll pay for it.
Okay.
And then Dallas can send me the money that he owes as the part that he lost in his part of that bet. I know I'll never see that money, but I personally know what it feels like to have to wait for a jersey that I've won like a long time. Like I know what it feels like to have to wait. I don't want you to have to wait. And if that means that I have to cover the costs for Dallas, I'm happy to do it.
Hey, true or false? I already asked for a shipping address. Jayhay, true or false?
That is true.
A long time ago, might I add, Jayhay. Right?
Yeah. So here's the thing, Jayhay. He has mine too. I don't know that being aware of the address really means anything in the grand scheme of things, but I'm happy that he asked. I'm happy where he asked where this fake jersey is going to be sent to.
It would be a very real jersey.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, sure. Super real jersey. Stream again, YouTube, probably Twitter, wherever else you get your streams. We'll be streaming across all platforms for the trade deadline, noon Eastern to 6 p.m. ish, around there. The whole gang, Dallas at some point, and we're looking forward to it, hoping some trades break and whatnot. We can have some reaction from the whole gang. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you guys for choosing us for your baseball coverage, and again tomorrow for your trade deadline coverage as well. We appreciate you guys, and we'll see you there tomorrow.
We gone.